And hello, people of the internet. How's it going today? How you doing? This is Billy Bones tuning in for a conversation. This is a walk through the mind, where we take a couple minutes and we sit here and see what's clanging around inside between my ears here, and hopefully we can take some of the stuff that I, spew out here and turn it into something that you guys can use elsewhere in a conversation, maybe. Or maybe write back and tell me that, I'm wrong on everything. You can agree or disagree. That's okay. I'm just here chipping in, giving my 2 pennies worth to the conversation. But today, I'd like to give a head nod, a thank you to capitalism. Last week, I went through and I dug a French drain at my house. Man, was that a lot of work. I was wiped out. Yeah, it's doable. Anybody can do it with a little bit of elbow grease and whatnot, and couple shovels, and you can get it done. But where we can thank capitalism is if that I didn't want to do that. There's someone out there who has figured out that they can make money on people not able or willing to do something. I heard a quote the other day saying capitalism is paying people by the value of their contribution. So if it's worth it more to you, if your time is worth more to you than it costs someone else to do it, and that skill becomes a big involvement in there, right? If you can't shovel because of a back injury or whatever, or you're like me and you can't paint a stick figure to save your life, then you have to hire stuff out. You have to hire certain things out, right? Not everybody's an electrician, and you also have to file the registry or the things with the county to make sure that it's all within code to your house. Right? I had an electrician out to the house a couple months ago. I can't do that. I've been zapped enough times. I'll let them do the hard work. But people have found a niche. They found the ability to offer their services in exchange for money, so that way they can fill their pockets and I can get my product done. But we can even go further down the line and thanking capitalism in that with my French drain, I built an extension for my hose to go along the yard. And there's several different companies, because I bought a part from this store and a part from that store, kind of piecing it together as I was going along. I wasn't efficient and smart enough to buy it all at once. I thought I was, and then I bought the wrong parts and mismatched, and so it became a here and there. So I've got parts from 3 different box stores and 3 or 4 different companies that all make similar products, and yet they're all the same. So we can thank uniformity of the the code of things, people's generally agreed upon code of things, to make sure that I've got the right parts. But each one of those companies, either the ones that have made the part or the box stores that carry the part, right? We can thank capitalism for that. If we're running on a socialist type system, the government tells the stores what they are going to carry, and whether or not they're allowed to invest in said parts, right? We don't want you having half-inch PVC anymore. You're only allowed to carry 3/4 inch, or vice versa, right? The government puts the kibosh. Just general, basic, simple example, right? It could be any number of things, but we're going with my example this week. And so the government can put the kibosh on things, but here we are with capitalism saying that this company can do it cheaper or more effectively, or they have access to better materials, and that's the reason you should buy us. Or maybe you run on advertising, and that's the reason why you choose them. And through this, I can, through this box store situation, because I've got, people that have wanted to make money for themselves, so they've opened up a franchise, or maybe they're older money, and they started the store because that's the kind of money they want. I have an uncle that owns a hardware store, and he did it so he could make money. And to each level, right? He supports each one of those companies that comes through and puts it, he buys the product on and puts it on the shelf, and then you come in and you buy the product. So you're supporting both companies with one purchase. And both of them are out to make money. Both of them are out to fill a niche, right? Could be for the contractor, it could be for me doing it on his own. It's all how much you're able and willing to invest your time and money to get as far up as you can. The capitalism is not necessarily a fair system because not everybody starts off from the bottom rung. I'm well aware of that. But there's plenty of opportunity outside of political forces. But there's plenty of opportunity for you to claw your way upwards out of the pit, and start climbing the ladder. And it's a long slog, right? Maybe you want to, build Widgets A, but there's too big of a market on Widgets A, so you got to come around and build Widgets B. You're not too happy about Widgets B, right? It's boring, right? There's not a lot of money, but there's some money, right? There's a niche. There's somewhere that you can sell this, and you start making enough money. And then once you started making money on Widgets B, you have now an investment available. You can take some money and put it towards Widgets A, because you know how to build the best Widgets A possible, right? And then that's capitalism, right? You're out there to make the best, make your money. You got to cut corners because it's a dog-eat-dog world, but you can get to the top. And you can have people like me that'll come in and buy your stuff. And I'll support you if you do the right thing, right? If I find that you're politically doing the right thing, and if you sell it for a good price, a fair price, then things can continue. And we'll go ahead and connect this into another idea that I've had for a long time. And that's brand names. And in this day and age, brand names seem to have it's a definite double-edged sword. You can have brand names that are well-trusted family house names, right? Everybody knows them. But they could be killing the rainforest, and that's a no-go. That's a no bueno. So that it becomes a tightrope. But I remember having a conversation with my mom years and years and years ago about Band-Aids. Right? That's a brand name. They're not endorsing me, but in purposes of conversation, Band-Aid. Everybody knows that name. And they know that name because, one, they've been around forever. And two, they've done it right. They've done it, they've done something right. And they've done it right for years and years and years. So they're allowed to, they get the name recognition. I don't know what the generic name for Band-Aids are. Skin patches? That probably doesn't sound right. Wound coverings, bandages. Bandages is probably right, but, Band-Aid is a specific. It goes over small cuts and whatnot. You got another brand name, Kleenex, right? Those are tissues. Those are just regular tissues. But the brand Kleenex became big. They've done something right. They've done something huge, and they've done it correct. They've done it right for years and years and years. So you may tell your partner, hey, when you're at the store, go pick up some Kleenex for me. And they come home with some off-brand. Still refer to it as Kleenex, right? Go along the same lines of Coke. Pick me up a Coke. Well, that's technically a brand name. But they've done something right. They've earned their reputation, right? Some people like RC Colas, and they can ask for specifics and break it down that way. I have my choice headache ibuprofen pill, I think is the generic, because it always works for me. I don't have to take two. I only have to take one. And there's other brands that don't work for me and will not, just don't work. And I assume that has to do with my body chemistry and whatever chemicals that they use within those. So everybody's going to be different, right? Not everybody can afford the brand names, right? So, you look at TVs, right? And maybe you want a 55-inch LG TV, right? I gotta quit saying that. I apologize. But you want a 55-inch TV, and you want the LG brand. But for whatever reason, the LG brand is overpriced for your budget. And that's too bad, but fair enough, because they've earned the right to put that price tag on there because of their name, because of their reputation. And therefore you're stuck with either buying a smaller TV, you're determined to get that 55-inch, and you buy the off-brand. It's a 55-inch TV, shows a picture, it'll do the job, but will it do the same job as the LG? And all of this falling right back into the capitalism scheme. They've worked hard to make their name well known, to make themselves a proper household name, something that everybody knows. And we can go back and we can sit there and argue against capitalism and say that because there's been such a fight between so many people, it knocks down the lower man, knocks down the third world countries where we get the conflict minerals. And that's a problem. It is. I don't know if I'm ready to dig into the weeds on that one, but that's definitely a potential for the future. But we've gotten very far, very, very far, very fast with the power of capitalism. To cycle back again, we had, widget A, or the person who wanted to build widget A couldn't. So they invested in widget B until they could invest in widget A. And that becomes someone along the lines of a venture capitalist even further down the line. Right? You've made so much in widget A, now you have so much more money that you can invest in widget C, which wasn't your idea, but someone trusted you, and you trusted them, that you invested your money. And through the power of capitalism, they receive money, and you receive money. Right? It's a step up from a bank loan. But that way, both of you are making money. And then you can turn around, you can invest your money elsewhere. And widget D and E and F once you start making money. But, again, with capitalism, right, someone can come in this dog-eat-dog world and undercut you. Or maybe the world's not ready for widget C. And you tank. Right? It's the real-life game in outside of the stock market. You can make a killing, or you can lose your your head, or whatever the hell the expression is. It's a crazy game, right? But when you're at the poker table or wherever gambling your money, you can make small bets and get small returns and small losses, and you can stay in the game. Or you can make big bets and get big wins or big losses. But with those big bets, right, you get to turn around, you get to bet somewhere else. But you're not just betting on cards in capitalism, you're betting on other people. And you make some money. We can advance. Like I said, I don't know if I officially covered that. But we can invest, Someone built the Commodore 64. And then someone built the Macintosh, and someone built the Windows PC, and we've now got a massive visual interface instead of a DOS command prompt to get through our files and folders. And through that visual interface, we've allowed more people to work with computers. And with those computers, we've been able to expand our resources, right? People have gotten paid to create programs and new programs and new programs. And now we have new software out, the Android operating system, right? Again, I apologize. But more and more people have gotten more and more opportunities through capitalism, through the chance to expand, through the chance to say, I can build that better for cheaper. You can come around, you get your name made, take your losses at the beginning. Hopefully you catch everybody. Hopefully it's not too early or a total flop. Your name becomes household. And you fly up through the ranks. And you become the next Kleenex. You become the next channel lock, Vice Grips, Apple, right? Anything. It's a slog. It's a definite slog. There's big time winners and big time losers. And there's people like me, and I'm sure a couple of you that are out there listening, where we're just along for the ride. We can thoroughly appreciate people's investments, people's ideas, people's gambling ability to push themselves to make it into the market, to fight for that household name. Who knows where we would be without, a little bit of capitalism? Would we only be in the 1820s form of technology if we hadn't allowed a little bit of capitalism? Who knows? Hypothetical thinking. We can't really look back and modify history. And, America definitely, the United States definitely offered the bigger chance of investing in things, opening it up for everybody instead of paying everything to the elites. Still becomes convoluted, still becomes kind of murky. But we have people wanting to come here to the United States because we have the best opportunity to make it big. Your success is determined by how much you are willing to put in here in the United States. If you don't want to put in a lot, you can live on the streets. If you want to put in the bare minimum, you can put in the bare minimum and you can get by. If you want $1 million, right? If you want $1 million, you got to put the time and effort in. You can't just sit on the sofa watching TV and expect the $1 million to come to you. That's not how capitalism works. If you want the $1 million, though, it's there. It's there for the taking. You just got to prove that you can take it. It's not easy. But again, with all our technological advances, we've definitely pushed forward into an easier time. And through programming and all this other stuff that's going on right now, all this real exciting stuff that's going on right now. What widget do you want to make? What widget are you going to make? I want to hear all of you. I'm not making widgets. But I think everybody out there can make a widget if they really want to. Putting in that hard work outside of your 9-to-5 job becomes tedious. You got to skip an episode of TV or whatnot. An hour or less of video games. You can go out there and make it, right? If I wanted to, I could go out and dig French drains and make good money on it. Someone would be willing to pay me because they're not going to want to do that job. I don't think they'd pay me for what I would like, because that's hard work. But I'm sure I could justify it. I could justify all ends of it. I could probably employ a second person, and then I could get the justification on having the price tag that I would command. and I would do it right. If you do a sloppy job and you don't get hired back, then so be it. You didn't do it right. You didn't do it cheaper or better. But you gotta, again, the capitalism is paying people by the value of their contributions. If you have little to contribute, there's little value for you. If you have a lot to contribute, there's a lot of value. So, thank you for tuning in. Another rough and bouncy one, but this is still working on it. I'm getting this all figured out. You can find me on Twitter at BillyBones, BILLYBON3S on the Twitters. I have my own website as well. You find me there. Find all the information about me there. BillyBones.com, spelt the same way as the Twitter. Go check out the website. You can get in contact with me there. They've got the email address up there. You can find my music. Find the links to all the other podcast episodes that I've done and released. But go ahead and get in contact with me. Love mail, hate mail, questions, comments. Send it all. I love you guys.